IMHO Talk Show. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's see. You know how we do IMHO Talk Show.
That's right.
Sir Charles.
Miss Max.
Raisin.
That's right.
We're all here.
We here. We still standing. You know how it goes. So,
hey, Charles, I might be too hot.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm too hot.
That's right. Yeah. Because we be having these soft-spoken people in here, and then the baritone steps up, and he be like all up on the microphone. Yeah. So we got to break it down sometime. So yeah, that is it. Kind of is what it is. But man, Miss Max.
Mm-hmm.
How about I kick it over to you? What we doing this segment, Miss Max?
I think we're gonna do an Ask Max. It's gonna be a bit of a round robin. We're trying to get back to some of our show favorites. I know you all missed that. I know you all misheard me come up with these questions and ask these two crazies what they think about it. But we're gonna do a version of that today. Got a lot of hot topics in the news. A lot of issues that I'm sure folks have a lot of different opinions on. Some we agree with, some we disagree with. First being the ICE shooting that took place in Minnesota. Individual's name, Good is the last name. I'm sorry, I want to give her respect by
Renee.
Renee Nicole Good was shot and killed by an ICE agent while ICE was there to essentially like extricate or arrest immigrants, people in this country illegally. It's important to note that she, and everybody should be aware of this, that she's a white female. And if you saw the situation play out on the news, her vehicle was kind of positioned parallel across a street, blocking some ICE agents from passing through. A few of them got out of the vehicle to address her. And in that altercation, she was shot and killed. The administration has said that it was, at least at this time, ruled as a rightful and just response to the situation because Ms. Good had attempted to drive her vehicle in the direction of an ICE agent that was standing in front of it, putting him in danger. And I guess out of fear for his life, he then shot and killed her, but shot her 3 times.
Well, most of us seen the video. Is that what the video say? I understand that's what the report was. Like, but is that your interpretation of the video? Or do you feel like that's accurate, that aligns? I'm just curious.
No. Well, I definitely don't agree with the position of the administration. What I saw was a situation that could have been avoided altogether. And if you're asking me, I saw, he wasn't necessarily right in front of it. And why did he have to shoot so many times? And it's clear that her intention was not to hit him. Those are all responses that I had to seeing the video.
We looking at me for dog.
Because it's like I didn't know about it until Max showed it to me, right? And I'm going back. This is how I judge the majority of situations at this age. I take out the white lady. I stick in a black male.
Okay.
Right? And what would people look at and say? Now, to my understanding, one, I feel bad that this lady lost her life. Let me make sure I say that.
Of course.
But if I go back and I take her out and I put me in there, what is going to be said? Once the police jumped out and grabbed the door handle, if I pull off, I'm evading the police. So, and that's what's going to get said by everybody that's looking at it. He's trying to elude.
Okay.
Right? So if that is what you see at that point, everything that comes behind that is a result of the decision that was made to evade or elude the police. And unfortunately, it ended up taking the life of somebody.
Yeah.
Now, that's where I'm one of those type people. So like when people start to argue and somebody go too far or whatever, you say, oh, that's wrong. How did it start? And anything that comes behind that is just a prerequisite of, just is a result of whatever took place in my mind in every situation in life. That's just the way that I handle it. So that's what I did. If you substitute her for somebody else that is acceptable at times to be killed, or people say, what did they used to say? You need to learn to comply, comply, right? So at that point, if I'm truly judging it without color, without gender, once the police got out and put his hand on the door handle, and I decided to elude or evade the police, anything is possible at that time. It just ended up with the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah. I mean, I do understand that anything is possible at that time. I still say that I do not feel that and wish it hadn't ended up deadly, though.
Right.
And we're different in the way that when I saw the video, the skin color mattered this much to me. What mattered was there was someone's spouse, someone's child, someone's parent who was killed unnecessarily. And as controversial as this may sound, I felt the same way, though I disagreed with his ideology, but I felt the same way when Charlie Kirk was murdered. That did not have to happen. That should not have happened. And so I don't know if this is a matter of bad training, bad protocol. We've all heard the arguments of how closely the officer was shooting in the direction of not just the person driving the vehicle, but a fellow ICE agent. Just in my opinion, did not have to end up deadly. It did not. And to be shot 3 times, like at the point where you're on the side of the vehicle, what is the point of continuing to shoot the individual?
I just want to make a point.
What's up?
Razor, it wasn't police. I think like that has to be taken into account. Let's put how extreme the violence got. They're not police. They have no legal authority to put their hand on your vehicle. Like you mentioned, right, Max? It was a white woman. They weren't there for her. She was blocking the road as a form of protest or whatever you would call it. But they're not police to where I have to abide by anything you're saying. I think that's where a misconception goes when people hear about ICE and police. They think that they have the same, authority that they have. They don't. I feel very strongly on the point that, he shot the 3 times, but and I know you said you didn't watch it until she showed it to you, but if you watch the whole video, at the end, he doesn't even fall to the ground. He like stumbles, the camera like goes a little while, you hear the 3 shots, and at the end of that, he calls her a stupid B word. And also I made the point when you were out the room that he had already been in an altercation or situation like this a year prior to where another person, in his words, I guess, struck him with the vehicle. Do you not feel like that's a recurring pattern where he thinks that as long as I can get in front of this vehicle, and of course someone who's trying to flee, whether that be an illegal immigrant or a protester or whatever the case may be, that it's fair game. I'm in front of this vehicle. I know you can't do anything. So now we're both in this situation. It's my life or it's your life. I feel like that is a reoccurring thing for him based on just the things that I've seen, that he feels like that's why it can be justified. But my whole point that I want to just make is that they're not police. I think that needs to come across. They don't have the same authority or jurisdiction.
You're right, but think about it. Don't think about it like police officers. Think about it like Secret Service. Think of it about like the ones that we send over there to get bin Laden. Think about ICE is chosen. They choose the ones who are going to be, or like we used to have like PD Task Force 9. They choose the ones that they were complaining about here in the city of Charlottesville. They choose the most aggressive, most outlandish people.
I agree.
And then cover their faces up so that they can teach your kids and serve your food, and you don't know who they are. This is the job. So you're absolutely right. They're not police. These are people that's chosen to administer past the rules and regulations of a police officer, if so need be.
But you make the point that when he came over and grabbed my handle, then I need to abide by his rules as if he were a police officer.
No. What I'm saying is when he came over and grabbed the handle, the ideology is going to be that I should comply. That's what I'm saying. So then no different than if somebody is outside, let's say they don't have anything on and they stand in front of the car. Is there ever a title, a job, or a situation where a pedestrian is less valued than the vehicle?
Well, no, but this is an armed individual. So let's to your point where you're saying that it's a
I'm
pedestrian.
armed most of the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you're in front of my vehicle with your brandishing your firearm, and then let alone pulling at my door handle, I have the right to defend myself, whether that be attempting to scare you. Yeah, I understand. It may cost
that's what I'm saying. It might cost you more than what you were willing to pay. Not that it's not about what Black men like me, Charles, teach our children is that make it to the next day, have your day in court. And we forget about that when we're talking about non-Black people. Have your day in court. They might have pulled her out. They might have arrested her. They might have called out her name. They might have did everything, but she would have still been here in order to say how they were wrong. The second that you put yourself in certain situations, it's like going out when we used to go to the go-go at nighttime and everybody high and the girls sweating, dancing, and somebody got shot. Well, this was the thing.
Go ahead.
Old people used to say, like, well, what would you think was going to happen at 1:00 in the morning like that when somebody got shot or somebody got beat up or somebody got locked up? So it's that type of ideology where we all tend to, until we get to a certain point, we take color and gender and we apply the rules how we want to be. That's why I said the worst thing in America is a Black male, a dark-skinned Black male in a situation where he's dealing with any people of authority, be it your boss, whatever, right? So that's why I said, when I look at situations like that, I take and put me in that position and say, if I had a did X, Y, Z, what would people say? And if you could say it on me, then you could say it on her.
I just want to clarify my explanation of what happened. I didn't point out that she was a white female for the sake of like differentiating because I felt like it meant something different.
It matters.
I just was trying to fully explain what had occurred. And I also want to say this, like she appeared to have given her life for she made the ultimate sacrifice. Like she was out there for her neighbors. And I want to say that is due some respect, and acknowledgement. So I just want to point that out too. But Razor, to your point, I do understand that we live in a world where, authorities have a lot of discretion as to how they act and respond, especially when it comes to law enforcement. And unfortunately, you do have to err on the side of caution because it just might cost you your life.
And surprisingly, I kind of feel like y'all being a little too gentle, especially Razor, because.
Well, I don't want y'all phones going off and then telling y'all I don't even have a right to be on the microphone and why am I talking? So I'm trying to be nice to y'all too right here.
No, so thank you, Nino, for your comments as well. Yeah. But the one thing is that like you shouldn't try to change the scenario by saying, let's say that she wasn't a white female, because because if it was a Black female, we would not give any kind of or Black male.
Black male.
A person of color, I'm going to say, we would not try to give it any other explanation or, or any other parallel. Like we would focus on that. I think we should focus hardly straight on to the fact that it is a white female, and let's talk about the significance of race in this on how she still was killed. And my thing is that it's because, they're not police officers, but guess what they are? They are officially employees and representatives of the federal Department of Justice. Mm-hmm. So what that means is that they have been emboldened with thinking that nobody can touch them. And if you do, then you're under that guy's, sort of to your point, Razor, of you're like liable for capital punishment because you just killed a federal officer, technically. Mm-hmm. You follow what I'm saying? And so it's sad that it's at that point, but I think we should be recognized. And these are the times, as much as we talk about, as much as we're pro-Black and all that kind of stuff, we realize that we are trying to empower our people to deal with our own things and deal with our own community. But this is something where we all should be coming together on, because we have an anarchist. We have in my opinion, a psychopath. We have somebody that is in charge of this country right now, and then has his minions that he's hiring to administer like just the most unlawful stuff. And I hear the like Congress and senators constantly saying how he's out of line, how he's doing things illegal, not just out of line, not that it's just partisan and I'm the Democrat and he's Republican and I disagree. Our representatives are saying his office is doing straight illegal stuff. And I'm like, so how come he is not being charged? So
do something about it.
How is he not being taken out of office if it is in fact illegal? And I think we as a human race, not Black or white, need to be looking at that. And it's like, what is really going on in our system right now to where people are taking these liberties to where they can do things that are openly against our Constitution and they have no checks and balances to where they just administer an all out like martial law.
Well, he just took it back to 1865.
Right. Like, but why aren't we doing anything about it? And when I say we, I'm saying the people who are supposed to be the checks and balances of the White House. Yeah. Right. The people that we elect on our state level are supposed to be making sure that the White House is doing what it's supposed to do. They're saying that they're not. They're saying they're breaking the laws.
Yeah, because most of them are not charged. But most of them are figureheads, though, Charles. Yeah. Most of them, as long as, I'll say that you're doing wrong, but behind back offices, if we all having lunch together and my kids are going to good schools and I'm getting land in different areas and it benefits my family legacy, most of them are figureheads, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I can't, this isn't going to come out right at all. But like when you say we all need to come together and fight against certain stuff, the reason I don't fight like that as much anymore is because when it's my turn to say, come support me, the same faces that was asking me to support them don't show up when it's time for them to support me. So I don't go out there.
But think about long game though, Razor.
That is long game.
No, check it out what I'm saying. You remember when on Chappelle's show when he said the only way somebody listens to him is if you get a pretty white girl to sing it? Remember that skit? So same kind of thing.
Yeah, but they shot her.
I get it. But the fact is she tragically lost her life. So then that means middle America is going to pay attention because the white lady just got killed.
Yeah, but white women have always got killed.
That's possible.
White women have always got killed when they have Black people on their side or when they got their arms around Black people. If it was a white lady who did not support people of color, then she might have got some grace. But they have always killed white women who find themselves over there protecting a little too much. Like you don't know.
I was telling people that too.
Yeah,
I was telling people
are scared to say that. You know what I'm saying?
But that I'm sorry, Max. Real quick,
I'm sorry, Max.
Like that real quick. That just to follow up on that. That also kind of proves my point at the same time because it's like we do have allies that also struggle and also are
ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, like also are making sacrifices for the fact of being allies. And I think that sometimes we overlook that because sometimes we get caught up in the minutia so much of how hard it is to be us sometimes, and forgetting that there is others who can lend to our benefit as well. And I just think that we shouldn't overlook, when our allies also like get the same treatment, and we can't always just say, well, they wouldn't come to our defense because there are some that do, and some lose their lives for doing so.
The other thing I want to point out about that scenario and really all that ICE is doing is the ICE agents covering their faces. That continues to be a conversation, and people are calling for them to uncover their faces, for several different reasons. I mean, you don't know who it is.
The Klan never uncovered their face.
Yeah, but as a federal agent, they ought to be required to do that.
That's what I'm saying, Max. That's why I said 1865. 1865 we know it as the celebration of Juneteenth. May 24th, 1865 was the start of the Ku Klux Klan. They've always covered their faces, right? Now, like we say stuff like they wear suits and they wear robes. Well, they wear Boo Scooby mask, what they all call them, the mask on their face, right? So it's just an evolution. It's just not white. It's a black mask. It's a camouflage mask. It's the same thing. Just because they don't got the hat on top, just because they don't got a point on the top of it, for whatever reason, we're not looking at it like it's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many factions of it. The people who are carrying out the same atrocities, they come in all flavors. And like they are right here amongst us. They're right here amongst us. So that means that they have jobs and they have places like that we visit and we probably patronize and have no idea. You know, just like how they said when the Proud Boys and neo-Nazis came to UVA, Razor, I think you echo it as well. They came here because they're comfortable here. You know? They graduated from here.
So when and this is no knock on anything that any of y'all are saying, but when at times it's like we don't look at it for what it really is. Like we look at it for what we got hope for, right? But in order to make change, you at least got to call it exactly what it is, no spin on it, so you can figure out how you're going to really attack it. When you got hope and let's try and let's all this, that, and other, that don't work. You know, not when you're playing with somebody that will take your life. That's the problem with the way we look at things from our side.
Okay. Next topic of discussion: extradition of Venezuelan President Maduro.
Hey, how many of these we trying to get through? We got about 8 minutes.
Well, yeah, we can take a quick break. Let's tackle this one and then take a break.
We good.
So for drug trafficking, does it matter to us? Should we have done
I don't care nothing about
Man, do you even need to finish the question, Max?
I don't
Come
care
on,
nothing
Max.
about it.
Look, so check it out. Like, so this is a segue from what we were just talking about. We have an overreaching, like government, and for some,
what's it really about? Go ahead.
And like, in some reason, it's just more acceptable because America is showing its true colors in so many ways. System is knowing what it's designed to do. It's nothing more than colonizing. We're talking about taking Greenland, right? We are actively taking Venezuela. We have infiltrated Nigeria. And if you look at the facts of the resources that are there, and in the history of this country, and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, because I know I'm not wrong. We only get ourselves involved in foreign relations when it's something that we're going to benefit from.
I just told Max that.
It's never for the sake of trying to save and help people. And if I'm wrong, somebody got to show me in history books to where you can debunk that, because that is the exact truth. And so it's just so sad, and you know, with whether it's President Obama and whether it's all these advances and whatnot, when all these advances happen and when the world seemed to be opening up, we thought it was going to be kumbaya, but then we see that the corrupt system that exists reared its ugly head. And I heard somebody talk about white supremacy the other day, and they was like, sometimes we just gloss over that term. They was like, it's not even really about a white person being racist. It's more about this social construct that sometimes just keeps us distracted and just use this ghost, in this figurehead of white supremacy, realizing that there's a certain level to where it's like, it's all about it's about like a top 0.5%, not even 1% of people, right? Like it's about this wealth that the average citizen can't even fathom, can't even imagine, and realize that when you follow that money trail, that's what's making the choices in this world, right? And people call it patriotism and be like, oh, well, America is being the world's protector, the world's police. And Dr. King and others warned us not to go that far. Yeah. But I think ultimately, Max, my point is the Venezuela thing is that like that's what we're seeing, and for it to be so blatant, for it to be so acceptable is quite scary. But it's just colonialism.
Yeah. When you say the top 0.5%, it makes perfect sense to me because I wasn't formally trained. I didn't go to college. I didn't do all those type things, right? So what do you look at? You look at the hat. And everything is underneath the hat. It ain't even got to be an umbrella, right? So certain things, when you look at the arts of war, it's a reason that the only place that you really see make America great again is a hat. Because if I can cover the head, I got everything else. It don't matter what the rest of it look like. So that top 5% is like your whole outfit. Only 5% of it is the hat. But it's the placement of it. And if it's over top of the way that you think, and that's what the media does to you, they make you think that something's good, something's bad, something's going on. Like, I mean, and I hate to say it like this, Max, for the people that's worried about Venezuela and you ain't never been past the Mississippi, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you even care about that? Can you spell Venezuela? I can't. You know what I'm saying? So why am I going to worry about it? You know what I'm saying? My bad. Go ahead, Max.
I think, okay, we're going to break, right?
Hold on. Like, but are we really ready for action, though? Right? Like, that's the other
action
thing.
On what? Venezuela?
Now, check it out, because the bigger picture to this, Max, is that a lot of what we benefit from as Americans absolutely comes from war. It absolutely comes from taking advantage of other people, whether we want to admit it. And I'm talking about even us three right here in this room. Like, and I think more American citizens need to be honest with themselves and think about when we say no more war and we say stop, going over there and fighting them people, taking their stuff. A lot of us forget that these luxuries that we as Americans have come from corruption, come from an evil government and system that the rest of the world has been trying to tell us forever, like, hey, like,
go back farther than that. America itself, over the Native Americans, over the Moors.
Facts.
It all came from war. Butt whipping teach you more than talking ever could.
Yeah, and there's a reason that when anybody speaks up about how foul we are, I'll say we, then we paint them terrorists. There's a reason why you got to make other folks look. Data, black people. There's a reason you got to make black people look bad.
You got to put color into it.
Because then you got to justify flooding their neighborhoods with drugs. You got to justify locking up their men at like ungodly rates. There's a reason for all this stuff. And it's so sad that right now that we have a president to where people are kind of like, it's like, but he represents this American dream, this system of like, I can be that powerful too.
Yeah.
So my bottom line is like, if we really don't like what's going on in Venezuela, then like, are we going to cut back on our oil consumption? Because what's going to happen is gas prices going to go down, and then everybody's going to attribute it to we took over oil in Venezuela. So which one do we want more? Do we want righteousness? And I'm talking to the evangelicals too, the Christians who say that this is the president we should have, and they will kick people out for abortion and transgender surgeries. But do you think killing people and unrightfully taking people's land and resources justifies your lower gas prices? Let's talk about it.
As long as they retitle it, America will accept it. You know what I'm saying? Like we used to call it like what Dale Shaw's with that one thing that they stole the slave block, right? Where we separate families and tell you how much you're worth. Now we call it the JDR system. You know what I'm saying? And just like we always want to blame white people for slavery, who sold them to the white people? No different than who takes us to court to say that the father owes this, the non-custodial owes this much money for this parent. We do the same thing. We just relabel it and then we accept it like it's new. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry.
Hey, you making a point?
All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be more dialogue with Charles, Max, and Razor. Stay with us.
I am Major Talk Show.